Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
We shipped some freight out on Wednesday and hasn't reached our customer yet. We found out on Thursday night that they had shut down.
An abrupt shutdown of a trucking company leaves hundreds across the Midwest suddenly without a job. LME Trucking, which serves several states, including Minnesota and North Dakota, closed up shop yesterday afternoon.
Valley News Team's Rose Itzkovitz visited the terminal here in Fargo and has more on how it's affecting employees as well as customers with freight currently in limbo.
Here at Fargo's LME terminal on Friday, a lot of workers coming in and out just trying to get their questions answered. Just a handful of workers inside waiting for more information from the trucking company, which suddenly shut down on Thursday. The manager saying there are 34 employees in this Fargo location alone, now all looking for a job.
It's kind of sad to see that a bunch of truckers are, out of work because of this.
The employees inside saying they're still in the dark, but out of courtesy, letting loyal customers know what they can.
I just came over this morning to check out, see if we can get the freight back. Unfortunately, since they don't have any employees, they can't give us the freight currently.
James Bent with Rural Electric Supply Cooperative in Moorhead is one of them.
They need these parts to keep the electrical system up.
Now, workers tell me this Fargo location has about 20 tractors, about 52 trailers, and it's one of 30 terminals across a 10-state area in the Midwest.
There was no indication that they were shutting down prior to yesterday.
The manager himself just found out on Thursday, and he says now he's just waiting around to see if he'll get any more information.
Thank you for calling.
Calling LME headquarters, even the receptionist went straight to voicemail.
It would have been nice to have known that they were going to shut down, or at least have had some sort of plan to know about them shutting down.
And while the workers tell me they know very little, one worker says, what I do know is I didn't get paid on Friday. Their paycheck was supposed to come on Friday, and that would have paid them for the last 3 weeks. In Fargo, Rose Itzkovitz, Valley News Live.
LME's website says that effective July 12th, they'll no longer be making pickups or deliveries due to the unforeseen circumstances, and their plan is to use an alternate carrier to assist while keeping some staff to help with that. One worker tells us that there will be nearly 500 drivers looking for a new job as of yesterday.
Nothing wrong with quiet conditions in the weather, especially after a rough and tumble week at times. Not that we've reached the weekend, or now that rather we've reached the weekend. Let's not wait any longer. Find out what tonight's weather planner looks like. Hutch?
Thanks so much. As we look across Minnesota, the Valley Skycam showing quiet conditions this evening. We do have a couple of cumulus clouds overhead this morning. A rude awakening in the Jamestown area. Tim sending in a photo of these hailstones, some larger than the dollar coin that you see positioned there. Severe thunderstorms moving out of northeast Montana will move in our general direction, but that won't affect your grilling tonight. It looks like beautiful weather. Temperatures near 80 for most, definitely summer-like with light south winds. In Fargo, we'll eventually be in the 70s. We stay quiet in the Grand Forks area with temperatures slipping into the 60s by bedtime tonight. Those storms near Montana that will be heading our way. I'll have details on when they arrive and what you can expect to start the weekend off here in a minute.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
We now know the name of a pilot who died in an aircraft crash at the Holly Airport early yesterday afternoon. Authorities say 69-year-old Bradley Gibb of Vergas, Minnesota, died at the scene. According to the FAA, Gibb's aircraft was a 2018 AR-1 model rotocraft, or a small helicopter. Gibb's aircraft is listed as experimental, and its category is classified as amateur built. A bystander who was driving by the crash pulled Gibb out of the burning aircraft. The bystander suffered minor burns.
A 22-year-old Fargo man is facing one count of felony gross sexual imposition after allegedly inappropriately touching a 4-year-old girl. Court documents state 22-year-old Austin Ernst touched the victim's genitals and peed a white substance onto the girl. During an interview, the victim told investigators that it happened when her mom was not home and that both her and Ernst had their clothes off. The victim also told police that this sort of incident happened, quote, all the time. A statement from the girl's mother says, in part, my daughter and I will get through this, but I don't know how someone could live with knowing they gained a little girl's trust only to violate her to the extreme. Ernst is due back in court on August 14th.
We're learning more tonight about a police chase out of Horace that ended with a man jumping into the Cheyenne River. Authorities say Jason Marinucci had several warrants out for his arrest. When they tried to arrest him yesterday afternoon, he took off. He said he was scared because he knew police were looking for him. As Marinucci was driving away, he hit a U.S. Marshal's car. He was eventually arrested after pulling him from the Cheyenne River. Officers found a scale with white residue believed to be meth, along with a baggie of marijuana.
The Bemidji Police Department wants you to know about a high-risk sex offender who will be released from prison into the community. Michael Warren Smith will be released into Bemidji on July 15th. Smith has a history of sexual contact and conduct with children. He is listed as a level 3 offender.
It's time for a look at this week's Valley's Most Wanted. Police say 32-year-old Miranda Murray is wanted for unauthorized use of a personal ID. Her picture is up on your screen right now. Call your local law enforcement if you have any information on her whereabouts.
A 48-year-old Bismarck man will serve 17.5 years behind bars after police found a handgun and several rounds of ammunition in his bedroom. Lonnie Alonzo Howard was found guilty on both counts of possession of firearm and ammunition by a convicted felon and escape. While Howard was awaiting trial, he fled from a halfway house. He was a fugitive for 11 months until he was stopped at a Bismarck exit in April of 2018.
It's been a year, in fact 1 year today, that Brenda Cardis walked away from Center Inc. in Fargo and disappeared. She checked out to go to a local park and never returned. Authorities say that the investigation continues into her disappearance. Cardis is a 32-year-old white female, about 5 feet 2 inches tall, about 100 to 120 pounds, with long brown hair and blue eyes. She was last seen wearing a burnt orange jacket, a blue dress, and gray tennis shoes.
Is the day where I also went missing. I don't know who I am anymore.
Anyone with information can contact the Criminal Investigations Unit at 701-241-1405.
Officials say a 38-year-old man pleaded guilty today to organizing fentanyl trafficking from inside a prison. Daniel Cerrone moved fentanyl and other substances from Canada and China into the U.S. These drugs resulted in serious injuries and deaths in Fargo. Cerrone pleaded guilty to criminal enterprise, conspiracy to distribute controlled substances, and money laundering. He faces life in prison at his sentencing, which has not yet been set.
The Minnesota State Fair has made some adjustments to one of its new food stands after receiving public backlash. The Wing Walker Donut Fight comes with plastic syringes for hungry fairgoers to insert their choice of filling into the donut. An online petition protesting the plastic waste generated by the syringes picked up more than 3,200 signatures over the past week. The donut holes will instead be served in a compostable tray.
If you live in an apartment complex, the price you pay for laundry services might be going up. Find out why later on Valley News Live at 6.
And a quiet close to our work week this Friday night. Very pleasant. Temperatures were a little cooler in northern Minnesota today, where we saw 70s. A lot of low to mid 80s elsewhere. It looks warmer this weekend with a few storms. Details are next.